Stephanie, I was introduced to you from my girlfriend Giselle. She's like, you have to speak to her. You know,
Mhm.
she has an amazing journey of her own, and I know you were on her podcast and was able to share, everything that you were able to share of your journey or whatever on
Mhm.
that podcast. So I reached out to you. We had a good conversation, and
Yeah.
you got the chance to be part of this anthology that's coming out June 6th. So I'm excited for that and that you were able to write something to extend further than this podcast interview. I would love for you to open up and just share with everybody, who is Stephanie? Who is she today? What are you most focused on at the moment as well?
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. I am known as Dr. Stephanie Johnson. I'm a plain and simple girl. I guess I'm a life coach and leadership coach. I also have a mastery in NLP practitioner certification. So I'm all about the mind and your mindset and just having the willpower to really keep going in life. And I guess right now for me, what's going on is that I'm in a journey where I am recovering from having a stroke. I guess that came along with a couple of other mini strokes as well that I didn't know. But the one in September actually, and just from this past year, so what, only 7 months ago, um, that sent me to the hospital and now has um, definitely changed my life. But I call it my stroke of grace and strength because I'm here and I even though I do have a bunch of deficits behind the stroke and I'm trying to recover and get stronger, I have very much weakness on my right side. I don't even walk the same. I don't talk the same. There's so many things that I'm relearning to do, but I call it my stroke of grace and strength because God's carried me this far. And if I just feel like if I didn't have faith in him, I wouldn't be where I am today. Cause I know many people will look at me and go, what do you mean you had a stroke 7 months ago? And I know on the other end of it, not everyone can, be 7 months out and be where I am today. Um, and the strength is because I'm not t I'm gonna I came in this world fighting to live and breathe, and I'm going to continue to do that. So, it's been a long journey, but, so for me, it's about passing a great word to others and helping coaching others to say that, hey, even when life has thrown you the biggest lemons and adversity that you could possibly have, just keep going because what is going on right now, today, that shall pass. Everything there's this shiny greatest story and it's the lessons through it. Because for me, I've learned that when I'm tired, my body just is telling me to sit down. I need to sit down, you know? But, and that's the main thing. So, yeah. So basically, just me just trying to become whole again. And every day is a new wholeness. So, and staying positive.
Yeah. So I mean, you're
Focus
you're
on that.
you're going through uh having the strokes, right? And dealing with that, but you're still sharing and you're showing up as the leader that you are, that you help others with leadership and stuff. So like, that's a big plus right there. So people are gonna look to you as a leader for continuing to do what you're doing,
Yeah.
going through all this. What was what has been the biggest struggle so far that you've experienced, in the past 7 months?
Um, I think the biggest struggle for me has been that I'm not as fast as I used to be. Just even like with my speech and just sometimes getting the my brain and my mouth to come truly in sync. Um, but and when it because there are days I feel great, like, and I'm like, "What?" I'm even asking myself, "What do you mean you had a stroke?" Like, and then I'm pushing and really pushing, um, myself, and then I have to stop and remember, "Wait a minute, isn't that what landed you here?" Right? So, it's there's so many lessons that I've learned, but the main thing, especially as being a leader, is that it is okay to take a break.
Mm,
It really is. And because number one, when you just keep going and you keep going and you think that you're tackling and you're, checking off all the to-do list, you're actually doing more damage because have you ever had like 20 things on your list to do? And then you're like, okay, I gotta do that. I gotta do all my posts for the week. And then I gotta set up all these Zoom calls. And then I need to respond to all the emails. I need to do this and that. And I need to make sure that I get back with this client or whatever, right?
mm.
And you're doing all these things, and then you're constantly creating new things to add to your programs and everything. And you're just you're doing everything, and then you check off everything and you have those meetings and but at a certain point you go, "Oh man, but we didn't talk about this." And that was one of the first things that I wanted to talk to them about. Oh, that's the message that we need to get out to people. Or, oh, the website isn't perfect or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, no, you're not going to be able to get everything done when you have too many things on your plate. There's no way. There's tons of things that are the ball's going to be dropping all over the place, and you're kind of making more damage to and bringing to light that you're not completing everything. And it's like just focus one thing at a time. Just one thing at a time. and you'll the message, your creations, your new plans, your new formulas, all that will be so much greater when you just take them one step at a time. And just remember, every aspect of what you want to do, it's just another building block. It's just building blocks, but you can't take another giant step forward if you haven't even fully completed the first one.
That's very true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can agree with all that because I do the same thing. I'll start something and then my mind goes somewhere else and I'm like writing down more to-do list, right?
Mhm.
And yes, you can't get it all done. So I know there's a few things I heard, try to do the top 3 goals or whatever for the day, et cetera, and
Mm.
kinda go on that route,
Right.
whatever's gonna move the needle, as you could put it.
Mhm.
But yeah, we get caught up in life where we just like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta go here, I gotta, run the errands, I gotta go
Yeah.
dinner, all that, and then business on top of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, it can be stressful, very stressful. And so I'm glad you're sharing this and you're saying to take a break, maybe take a nap, say, "Hey, you did enough today. It's okay."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we don't have to be those people that I see on social that says, "Keep going, go, go, stay up late at night, wake up early, hustle, hustle, hustle." Like, I get what
Right.
they're trying to do, but what is it doing in the meantime with, around you, the people around you or whatever, um, and your body too? It's gonna take a toll
Mhm.
on you, right? So I'm glad that you're sharing this. Is it because of what you're going through now that you learned this lesson, or is this something that you knew before, you just never really did it?
Well, I just no, it I think it is things that I knew or that I felt that I knew, right? Because I remember I was getting to a point where I was like, I just need a grand vacation where I can just 30 days of not doing anything, but I couldn't, right? And because I felt like if I'm not on top of it, um, you know, people aren't going to believe in what I'm saying, or maybe the fear of missing out, but in the order of the fear of me missing the opportunities to help others, right? And but when we're going and we're going and we're not our sharpest, that's we're doing more damage, right, to your brand, your credibility, all those things. And we can't be afraid of having a moment to just sit down and be still. We can't be afraid of that, right? Because it helps to teach people that, hey, it is okay. Like you don't have to do and I'm just going to use posting on socials. You don't have to post every day. It's just about being consistent.
Mhm.
And whatever that method and that strategy or that timing is in your posting, as long as you stay consistent with that, because then people, they will come and they'll gravitate towards your cadence in a sense, right? Because then it gives them something to look forward to. It actually gives you, as being the person that's putting it out there, something to look forward to too. Because then the thought comes so much better, right? What you want to say, what you want to share, or even the variety of ways of sharing a message, the way it comes out, right? Um, maybe you might want to just do a video. And then because you're only doing those things at certain times, it just makes it easier. And then you're not rushing and you're not staying up all night, right? But you know, that's really good. I mean it's like I feel like I truly learned the lesson by going through it, but it was something that I knew. Like we all hear, don't burn yourself out, like, all those type of things. But be careful being getting the burnout syndrome. But then we start saying to ourselves, oh, stop being lazy and just go, right? And then you also have to just not worry about what anybody else is doing because that will mess up with your mind, right? Because,
Mhm.
well, man, I want to do this and do that too. And look at everyone else is doing it, but everyone is their own self. And so you can't worry about just stick with your plan. It the confidence shows greater as well. So, yeah, but it's when you try to tell yourself that it's okay, but you don't listen to yourself, but listen to yourself. It is really okay. One time I actually started talking about I did a on TikTok. I do these, like, um, motivational moments, um, where I have a quick word in a minute, and that's what I started out doing, and then I started doing a 10-minute story time, and, we talk about the stuff, and one of my story time, um, messages on TikTok is called, um, "It's okay," and that this is probably not even the title because I keep screwing it up, but the heart of the matter is, it's okay not to be perfect because imperfect is perfect. So it's alright for it to be a little messy. I mean, like, like, I never would've gotten on screen with my hair but up in a bun and no makeup on. That just was not me, but this is me, and, it's okay, because I don't have to be perfect because I'm imperfectly me, right? So why not just show my the natural skills that I have? That's the perfectness because it's authentically me. And then it doesn't have to be completely perfect. Like my hair doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to have all the makeup on. I don't have to do any of that because that's not, at the end of the day, that's not what people are really going to truly remember. They're gonna remember the authenticity of you being you and you showing who you are, right? So, okay, my hair's a little messy. All right, but it's perfect.
That's right.
Right?
It's more than I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, I agree with you. So you're talking about being authentic, showing up as yourself.
Mhm.
And then the other thing too is that most people are more worried about themselves than they are you anyways. So,
Yeah. Yep.
we're all just worried about ourselves and, just showing up just to be you, it's going to attract the right people,
Yeah.
that you need to be surrounded by, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah, and they need you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's funny you bring the authenticity is one of my values, and so I have it up there on a poster, and so it's
Uh-huh.
just something I've carried with me for, I don't know, probably the past 4 years or so now. Uh, and that's what it's all about for me. It's just so you already mentioned being consistent and showing up authentically, right? And
Mhm.
for me, I feel like that fits for me personally because I keep podcasting, I keep talking to people, and I keep just showing up as myself. I feel like I am.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Oh, and you definitely are.
and that right, and that's all I'm aiming for, right? And if you
Yeah.
don't like it, so be it. Go listen to something else. I don't care. But the whole idea is just, somebody can listen to this and go, okay, I understand. I know what Stephanie's going through. I've been
Yeah.
through that too. And so she's talking about just taking it easy, whether you have a stroke or not. Take a
Right.
break, right? This
Yeah.
life is just going to drain you, and we're only here for so long,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you're sharing all that. So, and it carries. So you're still doing you while you're going through this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, because, kinda like that statement that I said, like, "Yet this too shall pass," right?
Mm.
Um, and this is just where I need to be. Like, I haven't really been promoting my brand and those type of things, and sometimes because there's days that I can't, because, I have the headaches are really bad. Um, or it's a day that maybe I didn't sleep very well, so I'm already gonna be fatigued as it is, but where the fatigue is just so, I mean, just unbearable. And I feel bad, but at the same time, this is where God has me, and part of me and the healing and becoming whole again is the recovery. My body's gone through something very traumatic. And when I try to, just, okay, let's just keep it going because I feel good today, or because the headache is not as bad today, but it's it's the warning sign of no, like you have to recover. Your whole entire body has to recover, like every major muscle. My brain needs to recover. Um, I mean, that in itself is, I mean, you think about when you have a bruise and the bruise is left for like a couple of weeks. Well, the bruise on my brain doesn't just take a couple weeks. It's going to take some time. And I have to remember that. And I have to be like, "Okay." Like, and I'm trying to stop, apologizing sometimes if I start when I start to slur. There's moments where I know I hear it. Other people probably don't really hear it, that's never really seen me before, but I have to go, "It's okay. I can repeat what I just said." If I, because I know that it didn't come out right, it's okay, repeat it. Like, there's no big deal in that. It's just being conscious enough to say, "Hey, my brain is still healing. My muscles that help control my tongue, my lips, and just how I form to get the words out, the breath that I take just to even say words, like all that has to just recover. And you have to give yourself time to recover. And it is okay if it's imperfect, right? Um, because you're trying to, and that's all part of, the therapy. There's, uh, it, you have to give yourself the grace. So again, that's why, I call it a stroke of grace and strength because I'm allowing myself the grace to know that no, I'm not as strong as I used to be, but I'm doing the things I need to do to get strong. And guess what? The plan is that I'm going to be stronger. And that's what I'm fighting for. And that's what I have to do. So, yeah, and
It's
I share that with anybody because it, like you said, it's maybe for someone else it's not a stroke. But the anything or just you have to give it its true recovery time. And along the way, you get to see the enhancements or you get to see the growth in getting better and getting and achieving back to where you were, but because you've given more, like, because you're in the recovery, you're going to be stronger in the end.
yeah. As you're going through this and you're relaxing, do you feel like too that you're kinda missing out because you haven't completed some stuff that you wanted to?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. You know, there's around this time, well, because like May 1st is here pretty soon.
Mhm.
And come May 1st, my original plan before even having the stroke, would have, like, the magazine should be coming out. I've revamped and my podcast because I had all these little small podcasts and decided to just put everything together. Um, and I'm not like I don't even have my my guest list together yet. And um, but it's not time. And I know it's not time because I want to make sure I have the stamina to do, the um, the new revised podcast, because that's the one that's just gonna encompass everything. Me as an author, me as a speaker, me as a entrepreneur, me as a coach, me as a consultant, and, 'cause, and the whole mission of the podcast now is because it's called Command the Room. And helping other business owners like yourself and so forth to be able to come on and just command the room and allow people to allow you to share and help others and how they can utilize your services. And so I feel like, yeah, man, I'm kind of like behind the ball. And of course, like you get on yourself, like you are your hardest critic, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, I feel like I failed in some areas. Like, man, this is what I was originally going to do, and this, and I can't do it right now. But it's not a failure. It's all about getting better and realizing that it's not my timing, right? It's God's timing. God will let me do that, but and when it's his timing, man, it's gonna be great. And I mean, I know it's not gonna be very hard for me to get the guests because I have a beautiful community of friends and other entrepreneurs like yourself and Giselle and man, the whole CLA,
Yeah.
bunch or whatever. And then just, other people that I've networked with, like the people that I know, I'm never going to be bored of bringing and knowing the people like to come on the show to do the podcast. You guys are gonna command the room and you're gonna totally understand it and you're gonna give it, and the people that are gonna listen are gonna gain some amazing value out of just listening to it because you guys are truly gonna command the room when you're there, and the stories that you'll share will be amazing. So I can't wait for that, but at the same time, there's a couple of hurdles that I need to cross just within myself, and speaking and everything so that I can do it. And the main thing is to have the stamina. See, I keep tripping over that word, but just having the stamina to be able to be a great host and how to just get it out there so people can hear what you have to say. So I'm excited for the future, and I'm excited for when God says, okay, you can do this part. It's fine. I already know. I mean, we can go down the list and it may take a year or 2 years just to go through the full complete, but at the end of the day, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be truly complete, and it's truly gonna be in the proper time.
Yeah.
Because
God's
of
time, right?
yeah, in God's time, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You have a lot going on. First of all, you mentioned podcasts, so awesome. Um, as far as there's only a few of us out there in a sense that continue to carry it through. So I'm excited to see you get that up and going
Yeah.
and keep going with that. Um, so I like to touch on a little bit what you just said about the podcast part because you shared what it's going to be about and why you're doing it, and I feel like
Mhm,
that's important no matter what you decide to do, not just podcast, anything, right?
mhm.
You have to have that burning desire
Yeah,
to help people. So, for instance, you're helping people with leadership, right? And then you just shared how your podcast is gonna help people. So, having that is gonna allow you just to keep on showing up and keep moving
right.
forward. Yes, you might stumble, you might miss a episode 1 week or whatever. Half the people might
Mhm,
not even know it, right? And
mhm.
so you just show up the following week, Uh, but that's also I love hearing that you have these plans still set. You're just not ready to do them yet because you know what it's gonna take, and you know you're not there yourself. You're not
Right.
prepared yourself. So
Mhm.
that's very good to sit back and look at yourself from an eagle's view, right? And say, okay, I'm not there yet. Is there somebody else kinda, like, helping you out along the way, kinda saying, "Hey, now's not the time, Stephanie?"
Uh, no, not not real. Well, no, I'll take that back. There is. I have a few girlfriends. Well, a lot of my girlfriends, but the ones that are really truly involved in doing the same type of and I'll say other coaches. So, um they're all like, "Okay, we're not gonna allow you to burn yourself out," because they know me. They know, like, I can get so enriched with trying to be the perfect, right? And, and I'm very meticulous and about how I want something to be, right? So they won't let me get that way, and they also know how I was before the stroke. So they're very cautious of that or like um reminding me to rest and everything when if they see that I'm not. Um so like Renee Jackson Smith, um, a very good friend. I mean, and she has been like my true rock through a lot of this. Because she was like, "Well, if you need here, I'll answer your emails," and she has. Um, Leon Share, she's been an incredible rock too. Um, Gosh, there's so many, like, and I would even say, like, Giselle, just, her and you, um, Emilio and Daniela, right? Those are some, people that I can shoot out that when I'm like, when we talk and they're constantly checking on me, and when I'm just like, "Oh, I'm kinda struggling right now," and it's like, "It's okay," you know, and they'll pray, they'll send me prayers and everything, and so it's like, "It's okay. You can do it. It's so that you can show up the way that you want to show up, and if it's not right now, it's not right now. No one's gonna forget you, and they haven't, so it's good to have that reminder. But Renee has been amazing with helping me through a lot of things. Like she's answered emails, she's coordinated some things for me, um, and I tell you, she's been a blessing. And Leon being that cheerleader for me as well. And really pepping me up, and like, cause if I say something bad about myself, she was like, "First of all, you need to stop talking about my friend like that, because that is not you."
I like that.
Right?
That's a good one.
And so, it's good to have, um, great people like yourself and, to be in the room um, and just that, if I'm like, "Okay, we have a plan," like, I know you're gonna be in my anthology, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, "Okay, just give it a couple more months," because I wanna be able to make sure that I can get through it, and then I'm not constantly like, "Okay, we're gonna push this out," and like, "No, we're just gonna all start at one time," and so we're still a couple months from that, but it's going to come,
Mhm.
and it'll be perfect because it'll be right at a time of where, okay, it's all right to add in something else, and that's what we'll do. So, I thank you for being that and, being that support and that too, um, and just let me know that it's okay. You're here. When it's time, it's time.
Yeah,
So,
that's how it is, right?
yeah,
That's how it should
yeah,
be.
yeah.
Um, yeah, we have to break away from, like I mentioned before, the hustle, like, and constant go, 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 go.
Mhm.
It's you think sometimes you're going there faster, but you're actually slowing yourself down.
You really do.
Yeah.
Especially when you gotta rewrite or redo or, revamp it to the point where you're changing the whole dynamic of something, like,
Mhm.
no. Just get in a line once you have a line the first time and you can kinda spread it, well, this is how I think about it today, but it might be this or it might be less of that. That is okay because when it gets to that time, wherever that needle needs to be, that's exactly where it needs to be. So, yeah. And
Yeah.
then you're not reworking. I mean, because I don't know about you, but for me, I hate when I do something, and I know hate is such a strong word, but
Hmm.
I really dislike when I have to totally redo something again, because then you find yourself 45 days later redoing something and like, and then you wind up getting to the same place you were in the very beginning.
Very true.
Like, ugh, that was a whole waste of time.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's time to stop wasting the time. And again, imperfect is perfect. And there's nothing more that I can say and like this interview with you. And then I'll kind of touch base in Giselle's, and some of the other interviews I've recently done. But that's the biggest message right there is that imperfect is perfect. And you can't really, as a coach, as a mentor, as a leader, you can't lead when you're always consistently trying to hustle to be perfect because that's not what people want from you. And no one's going to be perfect because they're not going to do any and everything the way that you do it. You got to allow them to develop their own uniqueness. They can take suggestions and you can start them like any good coach. You're there. You start the race with them. You're right along with them. Then you start slowing down and say, just go, go. I'll see you at the finish line. And then you're there to give them the water once they get to mile 1, mile 5, right? And then you show up at the end with their medal, right? Because they've completed it. And that's what a coach should be. They're not there to run the whole, you're not there to run everything with them.
Mhm.
Oh, I see you cutie there.
Yeah, should work up a little bit.
Yeah. So, and it's okay. But and that's how you become an awesome leader is the fact that you get that, especially in the coaching world. We have to understand we're not a therapist. People have to understand that. And you've gone through anything, and especially as being a leader, you're not there to dictate how someone actually moves. You have to give them some, um, the word is in my mind, but it's just not coming to my mouth.
Mm.
But autonomy. You have to be able to give the people autonomy to just be themselves. And then when you see them going in danger's way, but to kind of pull them back and keep them going straight, not pull them back so they're starting over,
Mm.
but where they, oh, pull them around that mountain so that they get on the right path and the easiest path to go up the mountain. That's what you need to do.
I love it. I love how we went through all that and came back to leadership in the end there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Stephanie, how can somebody reach out to you, find out more about what services you have, how you can support them, what they're doing? And if you have an idea of when that podcast might come up, maybe you can mention, a couple months or whatever if you like.
Yeah, I think, well, I would say, probably for the podcast, we probably won't really start until July or so. We're at about a couple of months out because I just feel it's May already. I have a few other things, personal things that I need to take care of and some more hurdles, right, to achieve and get there. But I would say you can so I do have a website. It's you can kind of pull up, it's very raw. Um and we'll get back to that again, revamping that where all the buttons will work and everything. But it's coachstephjohnson.com. Again, coachstephjohnson.com. And that's where people can connect with me or they can shoot an email at hello@coachstephjohnson.com. A great way to get in touch with me. Follow me on any of the socials, which is Dr. Coach Steph Johnson. Whether that's Facebook, Instagram, or any of those things. So go ahead and you can follow me on TikTok as well. It's all the same um call letters or handle. Doctor. So DR Coach Steph Johnson. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it, that's my handle. And so you can follow me there because that's where I'll be making announcements and you'll see me kind of slowly trickle back in. Yeah, there's gonna be some great things. So that's how people can find me and kind of stay in touch and kind of see where I'm at and when things are gonna roll out because I have more big dreams to conquer, so,
Of course. That's
yep,
awesome. Well, thank
yeah,
you. I'll put all that in the show notes.
okay.
And I have one question I ask everybody at the end.
Uh-huh.
So, what are three key things you've learned and used along your journey?
Mm, timing is everything, but it's God timing. Um, again, imperfect is perfect, and the last one, I think more seriously, and then all of them, rest and recover
Mm.
and just reset when needed, and it's okay.
Yeah, which we expanded a lot in our
Mhm,
conversation. So that's great. Yeah, there's a three great things that you've learned and used. Obviously, we were able to discuss a
mhm.
bunch of them. Stephanie, I'm glad that you came on, shared part of your journey, and I know you wrote a chapter in the book, so you expanded deeper on a part of your journey, and wherever that is. So whoever's
Yeah.
listening to this or watching this, uh, June 6th, this is coming out. So reach out to Stephanie to get a copy, or after the launch goes off, you can go ahead and buy copies from there too. But I'm excited for that. So I thank you and thanks for coming on and sharing everything that
Thank you for
you thought
having
about.
me.
Yeah,
It was
of
a
course. You're
pleasure.
welcome. Absolutely.
We'll do it again.
Yeah.
But we'll have to flip-flop it
Well,
because
yes,
you'll
we will
definitely be
definitely have
on
to
my show.
collaborate for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.